Hello and welcome back to our lectures on Hindu art and architecture. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the iconographical features of Surya and a bit of historical background about Surya. Surya. Surya, or the sun god, is the solar deity in Hindu pantheon and particularly in the Saura tradition. Saura tradition is a part of the Hinduism and it originates as from the Vedic tradition. The followers of Saura worship Surya as the Saguna Brahman or as the absolute person. Saura tradition is quite popular in the Indian subcontinent and in the Indian states of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Now, Surya has been called in different names and there are a number of synonyms to identify Surya. As per the literature, they are Aditya, Arka, Bhanu, Savitr, Pushan, Ravi, Martand, Mithra, Bhaskar, Prabhakar, Kathiravan, Vishwaswan, and many more. The oldest surviving Vedic hymns, such as the hymn numbers as follows of the Rig Vedic, mention Surya with particular reverence for the rising sun and its symbolism as a dispeller of darkness, one who empowers knowledge, the good, and all life. In some hymns, the word Surya simply means sun as an inanimate object, a stone or gem in the sky, while others it refers to a personified deity. Surya has been a very important deity or a very important part of our lives. Sun has been depicted in the ancient coins or in the ancient terracotta art and also in the Neolithic art from a slab from Bursahum, Jammu and Kashmir. Surya is the visible celestial luminary was being worshipped in important forms, which is an abstract form and a figurative since time immemorial. The abstract form of sun is evident from the prehistoric rock art, as I said, for the Neolithic slab of Bursahum from Jammu and Kashmir, Harappan civilization and Chalcolithic potteries and paintings, punch-marked coins, cast coins in the early historic period of India, followed by the hero stones and royal charters of the medieval period of the South India. The earliest figurative representation of sun god is gradually influenced by the Iranian-Mithra, particularly in the northern and eastern India. The description of the Matsya Purana regarding the iconography of Surya is very noteworthy, which throws a light on the iconographical features of sun god. As I mentioned that sun was a very important deity, a number of temples have been designated to Surya. Some of the most important temples in Indian subcontinent are Konark Temple, which is in Odisha, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Modhera Sun Temple in Gujarat, Martand Sun Temple in Kashmir, Katarmal Sun Temple in Uttarakhand, Dakshinaraka Temple in Gaya, Bihar, Brahmanya Temple in Unnao, Madhya Pradesh, Surya Prahaar in Assam, Suryanar Kovil Temple at Kumbakonam in Tamil Nadu, and Suryanar Temple at Ashravali, Andhra Pradesh. Let us now look into the iconographical features of Surya. So there are a number of texts which mention about the iconographical features of the Surya or the sun god. Some of the important literatures are like Brihad Samhita, Manasara, the Matsya Purana and other Purans, then the Agamas are also there. And every literature talks differently about the iconographical features with some editing and some omitting of the features. So I'm going to talk about the Brihad Samhita, what it refers in the iconographical features. For the other literature and other parts, references will be provided for the same. So the Brihad Samhita is one of the earliest texts which states that the sun god's nose, head, thighs, cheeks, and chest should be elevated and prominent. He should be dressed in the fashion of a northerner. His body from the feet up to the chest should be covered. He should wear a crown and hold two lotus flowers by their stalks. As you see in the image, the hands are broken, but you can see the lotuses on the either side. He should be adorned with earrings. He should wear a long pearl necklace and a vyanga, or the sacred waist girdle, around his waist. His face should be shown glowing like the luster of the interior of the lotus. His body should be covered with an armor and his face should be covered with cheek plate. There should be a prabhamandal or a halo shining like a jewel. He should have a pleasant, smiling face. Strangely enough, we do not get any mention of his chariot, the horses, and other attendants of the god from the text. But in the later periods, and also in some parts of the early historic period, we see that the sun god has been riding a chariot of 7 horses with his 2 wives Ushas on the either sides. This was a very small discussion about the iconographical features of Surya or sun god and a very brief historical background. For more understanding and for deep reading, I would be providing you with references. See you in the next class where we will be discussing about the iconographical features of Agni.